Hello all my lovely little dreamers out there, it is Mama Dreamer here today, looking a hot ass mess as the usual. So today I am super excited for what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use pressed flowers inside of resin, and this has been an extremely highly requested video, so I'm super excited to teach you guys how to do this because it is one of my absolute favorites. As you can tell by my work, I love working with flowers. I think dead flowers are absolutely stunning. So let's go ahead and do this. And as the usual, everything's going to be linked down in the bio below, so make sure you check it out. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click that little bell notification so that you can be updated. Yes, so you can be notified. That's the word. So you can be notified whenever I post a brand new video, so you guys can be one of the very first ones to view it. So let's go ahead and get this started. Okay guys, so today I decided to do things a little bit different. Usually I would just jump right into this, but instead today I'm going to lay everything out and show you guys exactly what I'm using. And there should be on the screen little notes about what everything is, but I'm also going to tell you as well. So, of course, can't forget the gloves. Always remember your gloves because resin is very sticky, and if you have a skin sensitivity to resin, if it gets on your skin, you will get a rash. So make sure you always wear your proper protective equipment. So let's get our gloves. And I got a brand new order today of the silicone Let's Resin stir sticks. So these will be in the link. These will be linked in the bio below. So make sure you check these out because these are my absolute favorites. So we're going to be using a brand new one today. And then today we're using a mushroom mold from K Rain's Designs on Etsy and on Instagram, and I will link her stuff in the bio below as well. And then we got these beautiful little butterfly inserts. We're going to be trying these out. I have a whole bunch of these. They came in a whole bunch of different colors, pastels, all of that. Again, this is going to be linked in the bio below. Make sure you check these out. These are my absolute favorite to use. I use them in almost everything. And then today I wanted to go for more of like kind of a fallish look. So we've got some fall leaves, some orange, some yellow, a little bit of white and purple in there. So we'll see what we can make with it. And then as always, my favorite resin, we're going to be using Chaos Resin Liquid Art Elite. And that is everything that is amazing about this resin. So they will be linked in the bio below. The link with them is actually an affiliate link for me. So if you purchase with them through that link, you get 5% off of your order, and it does help support me as well. So I would absolutely appreciate it if you guys did that. So let's get started. Alright, so we have our resin all measured out, equal parts, half and half. And so now we're going to mix it, but I decided to try something a little new because I did get some comments last time, especially on TikTok, about how they wanted to know how long I mixed my resin for. Now, the recommended amount of time to mix the Liquid Art Elite is 4 minutes, and make sure that it's mixed thoroughly. But I have really bad wrists. I actually have cysts in my wrists, and so I mix it for a lot longer, but it does not affect my work time at all. I haven't found it to flash cure more. I haven't found it to do anything. Nothing affects it. It's just how I mix it because I have bad wrists. So I'm going to put this timer right here to time exactly how long I mix my resin for so that you guys can see. So here we go, and then I'm going to speed it up for you guys because I know it's a long time and I'm not going to make you sit here and wait for like 20 minutes while I mix my resin. So this whole part is going to be sped up. You're not going to hear me, but I think I'll put some music on, so enjoy the music. Oh my god, I just realized that my phone stopped recording. I don't know when it stopped, so if there's a time jump between when it ended to this number, I apologize. But I fixed it, we're recording, so let's speed this bitch up again. Okay, so it's mixed pretty thoroughly right now. It's still very streaky. My wrists are absolutely killing me because they've been flaring up like crazy lately. So since it's still kind of streaky but it is clear, I'm going to take our second cup and we're going to pour it into our second cup so that we can mix it thoroughly again, make sure it's completely mixed through. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. It's looking all the way mixed through. I'm not seeing any streaks so far. So I think we are 100% completely mixed. So let's say 7 minutes. Not as bad as I thought it would be, not as bad as I thought I was. But I do stir my resin for more than the recommended amount of 4 minutes. But that's okay. So let's get this cleaned up. Well, at least just that put away. And then we'll get started on this. Alright, so now that the expensive iPad is out of the way and to a point where it won't be ruined, it's in safety, let's clean this up. So, like I taught you guys before in my very first video, we are going to clean our silicone stir stick. And all that consists of is paper towel and my 91% rubbing alcohol. I can't say that word, so don't even make me try. But yes, this is my best friend, use it for everything. We're going to be using it a lot. I always recommend 95 or higher, but if you can only find 91, that works too. So let's spritz this down. Oop, there it goes. And remember, I like to soak this thing because I like to make sure it gets completely off. So I spray down the paper towel. We're gonna spray the stir stick, flip it, and spritz it again. And then I take the end we use to hold it, and I squeeze and pull. Boom. And then I always go over it a few more times just to make sure I got absolutely everything. And as you can see, since this is brand new, it's very easy to tell when it's nice and clean. Ooh, look at that beauty. Alright, so now that that's clean, we can put that aside. We won't be using it again. And then always remember, new gloves when you clean them, new gloves after you clean them. So give me 2 seconds, I will be right back. We're gonna get new gloves. Alright, now that I'm all gloved up again, we are going to pop these bubbles on the very top layer. As you can see, the bubbles kind of floated to the top, so we are going to take our heat gun. I will link this in the bio in the description. And pop it just like that. And then there are going to still be bubbles in there, but that is 100% okay. You can kind of see the bubbles in there. But as you know, this resin is self-healing, self-degassing, so those bubbles will pop and your resin will be clear. So we're going to take my reusable, like, little mixing cup, and these are the two things I didn't show you in the very beginning. We are going to be using 24 karat gold and Shiraz, I think? I don't know. We're going to be using Artisan Color, the mica powders. I love these two colors, and I think they're going to go really well with the flowers and the leaves that we are doing tonight. So we are going to mix this in here, and then this is going to be our outer edge. So let's go ahead, get that all mixed up. I'm going to speed y'all up again so you don't have to go through this with me. So listen to this nice music. Alright, now before I continue and mix this up, I know I say avoid popsicle sticks, but the only time I use popsicle sticks is when I'm mixing color, because even though popsicle sticks introduce bubbles, it's really hard to tell in color. So that's the only time I use popsicle sticks, because other than that, I hate them. But they're really nice for mixing color. So, this is the one exception. Alright, now we're gonna fast forward again, so enjoy this nice music. Okay, so I'm not quite liking the color this came out to be. It's a little too gold for what I wanted. So we're just gonna add a little bit more of whatever that color is. Let's clean this real quick. 2 seconds. Okay, we're back. I'm very OCD and I don't like mixing my colors, even if it's just a little bit. So my shovels have to stay clean. And then I'm gonna add just a smidgen bit more. Because you don't want to add too much, since you don't want to add too much pigment where your resin won't cure. So we're going to go very little by little, because you can always add more, but you can never take away. Alright, let's speed the shit up again. Alright, we're back. So, I'm happier with this color since it's not as bright, but I'm still not happy enough with it. So, we are going to add just a little bit more color, and I think we can get away with one more scoopful before it's not happy with us. So, we'll do just one more little scoop, like that. And then that's going to be it. That's it, no more. And then you guys don't have to go for the exact color I'm going for. You guys can do whatever colors you like. I just thought that these would look pretty with the flowers I used. Also, with the flowers, you don't have to use the flowers I'm using as well. Make this your own creation. Do whatever makes you happy. Do whatever your soul tells you to do, baby. That was weird. I'm sorry. Alright, fast forward. Alright, we're back. I am a lot happier with this color. I'm not sure exactly what color that is, but I like it. So we're going to go with this color. So, don't forget, always spritz the mold. Because the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol, not alcohol, we're not getting drunk up in here. At least not right now. But the rubbing alcohol is very, very helpful with any bubbles that may pop up. You don't have to do a lot of spritz like I do. I just kind of prefer it because I like to be safe. You know? Alrighty. And then if you would like, you can let this sit so you can let all of the bubbles rise to the top, and then use the heat gun so that you can pop them. I think I'm going to do that because I don't use my heat gun in my mold since I don't want to deteriorate them. So give me like 2 minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. I did a little heat gun over it and we are looking good. So let's go ahead and get to pouring this. I wonder if I can, like, hold up. Let me try to zoom. Ooh, boom. There we go. Alright, so we're going to pour this, and I think I might have done, nope. Boom. I thought I did a little bit too much alcohol, but we're good. We're good. It's fine. It's not too much. It looks like it's too much, but it's not. We're good. So we're just going to pour the edges of this. Be super careful and very slow. Because if you go slow, it also helps with bubbles as well. Going fast kind of introduces more bubbles. And plus, going slow, it just gets you a lot more accurate. So you're only inside of the lips of the tray instead of on the whole entire mold. So, give me 2 seconds. I'll speed this up so y'all don't have to do this patiently with me. I'll be right back. So, I finished pouring the edges, and I'm just now realizing that for probably 90% of that, y'all were just staring at my arm. You couldn't even see what was going on. I am a terrible cameraman. I am so sorry. But, sorry, there's just a few spots that I wanted to hurry and fix. Okay, so, I only made one little oopsie right there, but that can easily peel off once this cures. So we're going to wait for the edges to totally cure before we come back and start putting the flowers in. I'm going to wait so y'all don't have to. So give me 2 seconds and I will be right back. Well, hello again. It's me. This cup is now empty, and I just realized I should probably show you guys how I clean my reusable cups. And it's super simple. That's all I do. You flip it, you pop it, and you wait until it cures. So then when it's done curing, you flip it back over and you get the satisfaction of popping it and peeling it out. So, give me another 2 seconds and I'll be right back. I lied. Again. Rubbing alcohol, my dudes. Spray that shit. Pops any bubbles that pop up. I promise that was the last time. Now I will be right back. Okay guys, so we are back. It is the next day. As you can see, the resin is fully cured, and as you can see, I kind of cleaned up my little spill that I made right there. It just peeled right off, didn't affect the outside edging at all. So now comes the fun part. Let's demold this. Well, not necessarily demold, but we just get to take it out, and it's fun because you get to hear the cracks. So I guess I'll shut up now so y'all can hear, because some of y'all like that. And as you can tell, it doesn't necessarily come out in all one big scoop. And remember, save your scraps, put them to the side so you can make little scrap jars. And in those little scrap jars, y'all can make necklaces, y'all can make keychains, you know, whatever you're feeling. And then I always just take my X-Acto knife to get the little drips at the bottom of the cup. Oop. There it goes. Boop. And then obviously it's not 100% clean, but I'm not going to be using this again, so I will just finish cleaning this later so y'all don't have to watch me pick at this. Alright, so we've got our 2 cups poured out again. We've got our resin, we've got our hardener. Remember, super liquidy, super thick. So y'all already know how long it takes me to mix these, so give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna be right back. Okay guys, so we are all mixed up. Of course, we've got our little bubbles from mixing, and that is a-okay. We're gonna put that to the side, let that sit for a few minutes while we let the bubbles rise so we can pop them. But I do see a little bit of hair and a little bit of debris on our mold, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our rubbing alcohol in whatever little vial you've got, whatever little spray bottle. We're just gonna spritz it a few times over, and I like to take my little Q-tips and I'll just kind of run them over the mold. Just get it just a little bit cleaner than I had them before. Okay. And while we're here, let's fill this back up because it is getting kind of low, and I am very OCD, so I'm using 91. My local place did not have 99, so we've got 91. Oh my lord, I need to learn to turn my notifications off while I'm recording. I am so sorry you guys are hearing that. Oops, my bad. Whee! Alright, that's good enough. Boom. Does it look like I'm doing science experiments? Because guess what? We are. We're just doing pretty science experiments. Alright, so I wasn't completely happy with how clean that got, so we are going to run one more Q-tip over it again, just to kind of clean it off. Oh my lord. Okay, we're just gonna mute that real quick. Mute. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so now we're all nice and clean. Our bubbles kind of came to the top, so let's go ahead and pop those. Boom. Okay, so now while that sits for just a few more minutes, because there's still more bubbles than I would like, we are going to take our flowers and we're just going to kind of pick through them and see exactly which ones we want to use in our piece today. And I've got a whole bunch that are kind of just sitting on the top of here, so I'm going to just scoot those off real quick. Tap, 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 so that I can put them in with all the other flowers, because again, I'm OCD like that. Even though I'm probably going to take them right back out. Oh, come on. There we go. And we're just going to scoot you. Scooch, scooch. There we go. Okay. So, again, y'all can use whatever flowers you want to use. Y'all can do however design you want to do. It's all up to you. We're just following along and we're just creating magical stuff together. So, I know I wanted to kind of go with the trim that I already made, so I know for sure I want to use at least 2 of these. Well, maybe 1, because these are kind of big. Let's see. And then this is just kind of the fun process. We're just going to kind of pick and choose. There's no right way. What? There's no right way and there's no wrong way. So whatever you feel best, whatever you feel is most natural, just go ahead and do it. So I'm going to speed this up while y'all watch my creative process happening because it's a hot mess and I can't really explain what goes on in my mind. So enjoy the music, I guess. Okay, so as you can see, I kind of didn't like what I was seeing there. I kept playing around with it. It just wasn't making me happy. I wasn't liking it. And then I decided this stem was too long, chopped that off, played with a few more things, and now it's perfect. I'm absolutely loving how that's looking right now. So as you can tell, I took my gloves off, but we're just going to check the resin real quick. A lot more bubbles came to the pop. A lot of them popped already. So let's go ahead, pop the rest, and then we will get to finishing this. So we're just going to do a real quick. And I am terribly sorry. Oh, I dumped cups. Oops, oh well. Okay, I'm terribly sorry for all you headphone users out there. I know that probably doesn't sound the best, so I apologize. I should start just putting warnings. In fact, I think I'm going to put a warning in the video, so I'm going to do like a big old, like in your face, like, hi, it's going to be loud. Not like that nice, but like people do flash warnings, you know? I don't know, I'm just chatting now. So, let's get to it. So I'm going to take everything off, and then I'm going to kind of sort of put it in, what's it called? The positions I had it in the mold, so that way I remember how they look in the mold, because your girl's got short-term memory loss. I'm not good with memory. Okay. And then if I just kind of put it off to the side the way it was in the mold, it's just a lot easier for me to put it back into the mold without messing it up in the resin and then not liking how it turns out later. Alright, so y'all know the drill. We're gonna spritz with resin. Not with resin. What? With rubbing alcohol. You get it. And then, oop, hold up. I almost forgot gloves. Alright, gloves. New gloves, brand new gloves. So we're not getting resin everywhere. We're not getting our sticky, messy gloves anywhere. And if your gloves were already clean, you can use the same ones. But I always take mine off like rough and aggressively so I can never put them back on. So I always have to get new gloves. But anywho, now when we pour this, we are going to pour like the tiniest, littlest layers you have like ever seen. And I'm not completely filling this out. You can if you want to, but I'm not going to because I don't want to use too much resin and then not be able to do our very last layer. And really you just need enough so that the flowers will stick to the mold, or I guess stick to the resin, so when the resin cures, the flowers will not move when you put your last layer on. It doesn't matter if you're going to leave this completely clear. You can do that whole entire layer, but I'm not going to be doing this completely clear. I'm going to be doing the flowers, and then I'm going to be doing a bottom layer so that it's not see-through. You can actually see the flowers on top. It looks like the resin, or it looks like the flowers are sitting on top of the color, but they're not. So let's go ahead. Let's grab a popsicle stick real quick. Boop. And I'm just going to kind of spread this around very gently, because I know that my flowers kind of go up right here. And again, I want everything to stick to this resin. And I might add some more resin as well. There we go. There we go. And then if you guys are doing like a whole layer, like this whole bottom layer you're going to be doing with clear resin, and then you're only doing a few flowers in the corner like me, you definitely can do that. It does kind of make it a little harder to make sure that you have the whole bottom layer with color. It gives you a very, very small space to work with. You know what? I'm actually just going to do that with you guys. Just to kind of show you guys how it looks. Because I know that my words aren't necessarily the smartest, so I don't come across that well. Sorry, there is a leaf in there that I just had to get. Y'all see that? Can you see it? I had to get it. It was bugging me. Okay, so we are going to be doing just the tiniest little shallowest layer you can imagine. And I'm going to be doing the whole thing just so if any of y'all are doing that, you know exactly how it's going to turn out. And when I have to do a really, really shallow layer of clear resin, I don't fill the whole mold with the clear resin because, like, if you could tell when I poured up here, it went straight to the top of the mold, and that's what I don't want. So I'm going to take that and just spread it around the whole entire mold. So first of all, the whole mold is leveled equal. We're not having any lumps and bumps. And that way, it's using all of our resin effectively. So we're getting it in everywhere we need, but we're not filling it completely to the top so that we can do our very, very last layer. And I know I probably sound like a broken record to y'all. I am terribly sorry. Okay, and then this does not have to be like 100% completely perfect. But if you are a perfectionist like me, you go ahead and make that shit perfect. Make sure it looks gorgeous. If you're not getting it perfect, if you're getting it like lumps and bumps and all of that, that's fine. We're working on it, boo thing. It's okay. Boom. Okay, so as you can tell, I don't know if you can tell from the video actually, sorry, ignore me. But what I just did there, it's no longer sitting at the top up here. So up here, the resin isn't sitting at the top of the mold. It's actually got a very, very, very shallow little layer where I will be able to pour more resin later. So that's gonna work for us. And if you guys didn't know, resin does shrink as it cures. So this layer will go down just like the tiniest bit more. So that way it's gonna give us a little extra room to work with when it cures tomorrow. All right. Now let's get to putting these flowers in. Oh, we're gonna leave it like that, yeah. And then just ever so gently put them in. And I like to tap mine down so that I make sure it's going in all the way. So that way I know for certain it's not moving, it's not going anywhere. And if you want to, you can definitely hold this part off until the very end so you get all of your flowers in and then you can push them down. I just like to push them down as I put them in so that way I make sure that there's not going to be any air bubbles or anything. And these are brand new, and as you can tell, they're very, very pointy and sharp. So I am starting to poke holes in those. So I'm going to go back to my trusty little popsicle stick and just gently push those down. And as you can see, it's not causing any damage to the flowers. So popsicle sticks are a lot better to use with this. And if you'd like, I do like to just kind of take the resin from the sides and just ever so gently push it over the flower. So I know that it's completely coated and it's completely in the resin. And I love these little flowers. I have no idea what they are, but I call them little firework flowers because they look like little fireworks. So those are fun. And if you have, or if you want to, you can do that. You have just the tiniest bit of resin on the end of your stick. You can just dab, pick up, and push. And it's super simple. So that way you don't have to keep switching in between tools. You don't have to worry about getting it on your finger if you're using your fingers. You don't have to worry about any tools puncturing your flowers, creating holes, any of that. And if you can tell, as I'm putting my flowers in and I'm putting the resin over it, you can kind of see through the flowers and they're turning kind of translucent. And that is 100% completely normal with pressed flowers. Just because of how flat they are, it's going to be really, really hard to retain the color and retain the opacity? I don't know. Y'all get what I meant. It's really hard to retain that when it's such a, like, it's completely dead. There's like no width to it at all. Like, it's super thin. Y'all get it. I'm just rambling now. But anywho, that's completely normal, and that's also why I like to add a back layer to my resin. So whenever I put flowers in, I add like this little extra back layer once we are completely done. So then that way it does show the flowers a little bit more and a little bit better. And if you use a white background, that's even better because the white is going to make the color pop. So all of the color that we're losing right now is just going to come right back. Boop. All right. And then if you can see as I'm pushing these down, you can see little air bubbles kind of going to the side and popping up. That's why I like to push all of my flowers down as I put them in, because it is just so much easier to get rid of air bubbles as they pop up, and it's such a small chance that you'll get air bubbles trapped in between the flowers because you're pushing them all out instead of doing one big push and trying to push them all down at once. So there's a really big chance that you're not going to run into as many bubbles as you would if you did it in one big push. And then if you don't have enough resin or the mold isn't deep enough to make sure that all of the resin is coating all of the flowers, that's completely fine. As long as the resin is coating at least part of the flowers or at least the bottom layer so it won't move when we pour that next layer, you'll be completely good to go. Alright. And I'm sorry, I know I'm starting to get silent, but I'm starting to get super concentrated, so don't mind me. Ooh. Boop. And as you can tell over here, as I'm squishing, there's really not a lot of resin over in this little area. So I'm not getting as much resin as I did over here, and that's fine. That's 100% okay. And then with these little firework flowers, you do have to be extremely gentle and careful with them because the petals of these tend to fall off really, really easily. So if you're like pushing them around in your mold trying to move them, you're going to get these little petals everywhere, all over your resin, or all over your piece, I guess I should say. Ooh, yes, I am loving how this is turning out. This is gonna look good. Ooh, guys, we're doing good. Ooh, this is gonna look good. Look at us being all bougie and fall-esque. Alright, so we finished putting all of that in. I'm happy with where everything is sitting right now. And as you can see, there's just like the tiniest little bubbles that are still there from when I was pushing down the flowers. So as per the usual, our best friend, rubbing alcohol, just a few spritz. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, just don't overload it because then when it cures, you're going to get little waves. So like if you dump this whole bottle on there, you're going to get very wavy, tacky, gross resin that's not going to cure. So that's why spray bottle is your best friend when you're using alcohol or rubbing alcohol, because you can just spritz it and it's super easy to control with how much you're getting. So we're done for today, unless you guys want to add like some glitter accents or you guys want to do whatever. I don't think I'm going to do that this time. We're just going to leave it as is because there are lines on this mold that we are going to paint once we finish, once it's all completed and we can unmold it. So again, like always, I do the waiting so y'all don't have to. So I will see you in a few seconds. Oh my goodness, guys, I was about to end the video. I was cleaning up and then I remembered the butterflies. I never put a butterfly in. So we're gonna hurry and do that, and you know, we're going balls to the walls. We are not doing any gloves right now because I cleaned up, so you know, it's fine, we're fine. This happens sometimes, it's okay. You know, we have done enough like neutral colors. We're gonna do a pop of color. So let's do Ooh, I like this green or this blue. These two just popped out at me, so obviously they want to be in here. So we're going to do these two. So let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, you know what? We're speeding it up again. We're gonna do my little weird creative process thing I do. So let's do this. But this time it's harder because I have resin in there already, so I can't like lay down and move it as I want. Okay, we're doing this. Okay, so I'm hoping I'm gonna like how that turns out. And now again, we're just gonna kind of scooch some resin on top of it. And if you guys can see this little orange fleck I'm playing with right now, trying to get it out. There it is. The little orange fleck, can y'all see that? Yeah, that came from the firework flower. So that's why you have to be careful, because those little flecks of their petals will go everywhere in your resin. And if you're trying to get a really clean, neat piece, you don't want that. Okay, you know what? It's okay. We got the butterflies in, the flowers still look good, piece still looks good. So, we did it. Let's do another little floop floop. Yeah. So, you know, as I say, I'm a hot ass mess, as usual, and I have short-term memory. Okay? Or not memory. Like, you get what I'm saying. I have short-term memory loss. I forget things as soon as they're out of my sight. So, yeah, but at least you guys, it's like for a few short seconds. For me, it was like maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. So, hopefully I reminded you guys if you guys forgot about the butterflies. So, yay! Blessing in disguise. Let's take it. I will be right back, the next day. Okay, everyone, it is the very next day. Our resin is completely cured and all good to go. I got our resin all mixed up, ready to go, and then I did already put it in a tiny little cup. As you can see, I still have some little droplets from when we used it around the edges, and that's completely fine. It's not going to affect our current layer at all. So, we are going to be using Artisan Pigments in Titanium for the very, very last layer. Ooh, we're almost done. And then we're going to get our tiny shovel, but give me 2 seconds while I clean it. Because your bitch don't like to mix colors. I'm very OCD about that. So we're going to get just a little tiny scoop, like roughly that much. Just plop that right in. And then we're going to get our trusty little, what is this called? Popsicle stick. I forgot the name of it. We're going to get our trusty popsicle stick. And we're just going to mix it. And make sure when you're mixing mica pigments in, it is 100% thoroughly mixed, or else you will get kind of like a streaky resin. Your piece will come out looking like some pieces are completely colored, and then other pieces will look like it's just clear resin poured on top. And I mean, if that's the look you're going for, hell yeah. If it's not and you don't want that, make sure it's mixed 100% thoroughly. So you gotta scrape the sides, you gotta scrape the bottom, all that. Okay, so we're all mixed and good to go. I'm loving how that color has turned out. So as you can see, I kind of spilled a little bit of mica powder on there, so we're just gonna go ahead and clean that up. We're gonna do a spritz. Take our little Q-tips and just clean. Alright, we are good to go with that. And we're going to do another little spritz. And we're going to get to pouring. And then make sure when you're pouring, since this is such a small layer we're working with, we're going to want to go really, really, really slow when we start to pour. So that way it doesn't go over and overspill. And like I did last time, let's go ahead and zoom in. There we go. All right. And then if you want to, just pour directly in the middle and then just kind of let it spread out by itself. Or if you want to as well, you can always take a little popsicle stick and you can spread it to the sides yourself, just kind of help it get there. And you have a little bit more control over where the resin goes, so that way it doesn't overspill and overflow, which we definitely don't want. I mean, if it happens, that's definitely okay. We can always fix it later. But I just prefer not to fix it because I don't like cutting resin off. I don't like cutting excess resin off. I'm just picky like that though. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna finish this. We're gonna speed this up for you guys so you guys don't have to go through this slow process with me. So enjoy the music. Okay guys, so as you can see, we are completely finished, and then at the end there I did pour a little bit more on top, just because I had a little extra room and I just wanted to make sure that it was domed out, because as you remember, resin does shrink as it cures. So as this shrinks, since I domed it, it's going to be an even layer. So we're all finished. Now we just go do a quick spritz with our alcohol, and then we just got to let that cure. And we're going to unmold and paint this tomorrow, so make sure you come back. Not necessarily come back, I apologize. It's been a very long day. Just hold tight, it'll be 2 seconds for you guys. I will come back. I do the waiting so you don't have to. And I know these are really short parts where I keep coming back and doing this and then saying, okay, bye. But you know how it is, you know? Yeah, you know. Okay, adios. I will be right back. See you guys in a few seconds. Ooh. Alright guys, we are back again. Our resin is completely cured. So let's go ahead and unmold this and see our little creation we made. And with unmolding this, you want to make sure you're really careful. And look at that beauty. Ooh, ooh, she gorgeous. She gorgeous. So, now that we finished unmolding, and as you can see right here, I had a little spillage on the bottom of it, but that's fine. We can go ahead and cut that off later. So, let's go ahead. Let's get to painting this. And I am going to be using, I'm just going to be using some regular black acrylic paint. So, we're just going to paint it on and then just wipe it off with paper towel, a little bit of rubbing alcohol. So let's go ahead and get this zoomed in again. Yeah, I think that should be good. Okay. So I always use, as you can tell, I always use this for my paint. And it's pretty nasty, dirty, grody, whatever. So I think I'm actually going to get a new one, since it is so grody and gross. Give me 2 seconds. I will be right back. I'm going to go get a new paintbrush. Alright, I'm back. We got a brand new paintbrush, never used. And then I got my little plate that I always use for my paints. So we are going to go right in and just start painting the designs on this. And obviously I'm not going to sit here and make you guys wait through with me. So I'm going to speed this up again, like usual. So enjoy the music. Okay, so as y'all can see, we got it all painted. It's really messy, really just kind of all over the place, but that is a-okay. We are going to clean that up later, but as you can see, I do have one tiny little bubble right here that came through that I didn't get when I was pushing the flowers down, and that's okay as well, So what you can do is we can either take some UV resin and just fill up that tiny little hole, or you can just take some regular epoxy resin and then fill up that tiny little hole as well, so that we can get that filled and get it nice and level with the rest of it. It is completely up to you. I think I might use epoxy resin just because I want it to be equal all the way through. It can be equal all the way through if you use UV resin, but I'm just picky like that, so I'm going to use epoxy resin and get that filled. I don't think I'm going to show you guys because it's going to be real quick, just one little dot, but here are the finished products. Okay, so I was going to show you guys like a little montage of the finished product, but then I realized I should show you guys how I clean the paint off. So let's go ahead and do that. So all I do is I take a paper towel, I just kind of spritz my rubbing alcohol over the mold, or not the mold, over the piece, and I just wipe. And as you can see, for the most part, it does just come off. It does get messy, it does get streaky, it looks kind of weird, but that's a-okay. And if you want to as well, if it works better for you, you can just spray the rubbing alcohol straight onto the paper towel itself. I personally just spray it straight on the mold or on the piece because I feel like it just works easier for me. But you know, it is whatever oh my goodness, it's whatever works best for you. Let's see. And then after we're done cleaning this off and making sure all the paint is off and it looks nice and clean again, you can seal it with just a clear sealant spray. You can clear it with another layer of epoxy. You can clear it however you choose to is best for you. I'm probably going to seal it with another layer of epoxy since I do have that weird little bubble right there. So that way I can get the bubble taken care of, and I can also seal everything else in it as well. But again, it is completely up to you, whatever you think works best for you. And I'm sorry, I know my cleaning's all over the place, so the mold's like going over here and over there and probably down out of the frame. I'm doing my best, y'all. And then after all of this is all clean as well, if you want to, instead of using a paper towel to go through and get into all the little crevices and little cracks and make sure all the little streaks are gone, you can just use a Q-tip. Just kind of go around, make sure you get everything, which is what I'm probably going to do right now, just to kind of show you guys how that looks. And then as you can see like right here and right there, the paint didn't completely stick to the grooves. So I'm probably just going to go over that again with some more paint and make sure that it is how I want it to be. And then as you can see with these, not all of the paint stuck because the grooves are very, very, very small in this. It's very shallow, so there's not a lot for the paint to hold on to. But I personally like it like that. If that kind of bugs you, you can go over this again with another layer of paint after this dries, so that way you get a little bit more coverage. Me personally, I just like the way it looks with the see-through because you can see the butterfly wing coming through it, you can see the flowers coming through it, so that's just my preference. Okay, and then before I do anything else, before I finish cleaning this up, I do want to go through and fix right here, since I didn't completely get those covered. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I got my paint, I got my paintbrush, and we're just going to kind of go right over that again. And I personally like to let my paint completely dry before I wipe it off, so that way it gives me the best chances of getting the paint to stick into the grooves the way that I want it to. And then I am just going to kind of go over some of these again just because I want them a little bit darker. I'm not liking how some of these are a little too light. But it's all completely up to you, whatever you feel is best for your piece. Okay, so I'm liking how that's looking right now. So again, I'm just going to let this dry. I'm going to come back, clean it up. We're going to do another layer of epoxy to kind of seal it in, coat it in, and then fill that little bubble right there. And I should be right back. Alright guys, it's me again. It's my beautiful face. Okay, so we are officially done with it. We have completed it. It's taken us 4 days to fully complete this. I am obsessed with it. Absolutely obsessed with it. I love how this turned out. I think it is absolutely stunning. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I am super excited to post that on my Etsy for you guys so that one of you guys can purchase it. Reminder, everything that we make on the how-to videos, on the follow-along videos, everything I make on YouTube is going to be available for sale on my Etsy. It will be under YouTube how-tos on the categories. And I'm super excited to see everything that you guys made. Remember, if you guys did make something, I'm going to be posting a hashtag in the bio below. So go ahead and use that hashtag so that I can see all of the wonderful creations that you make. So that's it for today. Well, at least that's it for the past 4 days. I hope that you guys have an absolutely amazing day. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and the little bell notification so that you guys can be notified whenever I post something new. I hope you guys have an absolutely miraculous day. Love you.